action. Okay, P.S. Does anyone ever say action to you in your television job?
No, in fact, and I don't even have one of these things. I want one of
Why don't they give
those.
you one of
I don't
those?
have one of those.
Hey, congratulations on 70 years of Meet the Press.
Thank you very much.
The longest running show in television history, celebrating its 70th year. This is Meet the Press with Chuck Todd.
Good Sunday morning.
When you first started the show 70 years ago, did you ever think you would grow to this?
Hey, it started as radio.
Yes.
Now, look, my whole goal was to make it so that you didn't feel like it was just for Sundays anymore.
So listen, we haven't been together for 3 years.
Right.
We met right before you were taking over Meet
Right.
the Press. You were very, what's the word when you're not psychic? You were very...
Hopefully prescient.
Prescient.
Ah.
I asked you about how you were going to sex up the news. And you said, well, I don't think we should bring in Hollywood because it cheapens the news.
Look, I think that cheapens it. And no offense to Hollywood when they get involved in politics. It's not just about Hollywood, New York, Washington. And I think sometimes we allow ourselves in politics to get caught up in sort of those three axes.
And here we are 3 years later, and
Hollywood on the Potomac.
in news is yes.
Yeah.
So is it in fact a sexy life you lead?
It is a little disconcerting that the political news has become so celebrified. That's not a good trend. That is bad long-term trend for good governance, good democracy. When you sort of, the minute celebrity gets mixed in with politics, then all of a sudden people aren't doing things on the behalf of others. They're doing things on behalf of their own ego. They're doing things on behalf of their own fame and their own success. And that's the long-term nervousness I have about that.
It's hard to make the issues something people want to watch when you could just as easily watch like a really funny show on another channel.
Well, look, and that's where you're like, fine, give me any celebrity X. I don't care if you're a liberal celebrity, conservative celebrity. Go find one of those mundane issues that people care about and throw your name at it. You know, Donald Trumpify it. I'm not endorsing that. That's not the way I wish we were debating public policy, but something's better than nothing.
But maybe we should. So let's hire a couple of celebs. Who do we want? And send them out. Betty White's quite active.
Everybody seems to like Betty White.
Everyone likes Betty White, so okay,
she
can get in anywhere.
She's non-confrontational.
No, so how about her and like Dave Chappelle?
There you go.
Send them out together to do a town hall sweep of the country, and they can come back and report.
That would be great.
Do you go to bed satisfied that you have done your job informing people and moving the conversation ahead?
I will say this. I think for 60% of the country that believes we're credible, believes what we do, I do believe we're doing a good job for those 60%. But my concern is, how do we get the 40% that has so shut us off, turned us off, and said they don't believe anything we do. They believe it's all biased, it's all a scam, or we're all in on it. I'm not expecting them to say we're credible from day one, but how do we get them back to at least turn the volume up?
3 years ago, you told me that if we continue to hit people with the truth again and again and again and again, that little by little, that the media would gain credibility. But now, it's almost like the problem's much bigger.
Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that. But the point remains.
Wait a minute. Alternative facts? Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
I don't think any of us counted on that the sitting president of the United States would actively try to discredit the American news media. And the fact of the matter is, there are segments of the American news media he is actively attempting to discredit. The fake news media, failing New York Times, NBC News, ABC, CBS, CNN is not my enemy. It is the enemy of the American people.
Does that make your job much harder or more fun? Like, hey, we really have something to dig our teeth into now. Thank you, DT.
You know, it's funny. It's like the Barnum and Bailey side in my head goes, well, thanks for promoting us.
Right.
Yeah, right. You know, the controversy is always, quote unquote, good for business. But it's destructive.
It's destructive.
It's destructive.
A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
Like I said, all I think about is that 40% that refuses to even open their ears.
Hey, they were never going to open their ears. You're never going to get there.
There are 20 that are just never going to. That's fine. But there are 20 that used to, and we need to get them back.
And when you say back, you don't mean to think like you think. You mean to bring that fact.
This is not about,
truth is truth.
The truth is truth.
And you can feel however you want.
And that the fact is that, look, we get it. You know, I think they have dismissed us because they think we're culturally not in sync with them. We culturally don't live the same lives as them, that we don't understand how they live. And I think that's where I think if we begin by at least reporting on how they're living their lives, that's at least a start. of the conversation with that group.
It's still not clear.
Chuck, it'll work out so well. You will be so happy. In 4 years, you're going to be interviewing me, and you're going to say, what a great job you've done, President Trump.
We're going to go on a tour. You, me, Betty White, Dave Chappelle.
There it is.
Oh my God, the dream team. The political dream team.
There it is.
NBC News. Thanks for being on the show.
Look, she's got a trucker's hat. But you know, it means she's more.
Yeah, I'm cool.
They thought my head was smaller than it is, clearly.
Boy, hello. That sex stuff.
Hello, you're dealing with a diva in NBC News. They have huge heads.
You are.
know that.
That's true. I know. Maybe I should get an extra double XL.
Always have to.
Yep.